Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, it's Jesse with the Common Nerd, bringing you pop culture and all things ready through a common sense lens. And man, oh man, ladies and gentlemen, I am sad to announce, well, maybe not so sad concerning the current iterations of Transformers, but it looks like Transformers is canceled over there at Paramount, boys and girls. We all know that the Skydance merger is coming down the pipeline right now. They're trying to get everything all their ducks in the row, trying to get everything straightened out for that. They've been doing all the layoffs, trying to do a bunch of cuts, trying to make sure, they're trying to make sure, of course, that they are trying to get everything tightened around the belt as well as all of that other kind of stuff out there. And then, of course, we know, along with Hasbro and all of that kind of stuff, we know Hasbro's been making a lot of cuts. They're not really interested in funding these kind of things anymore. And considering the absolute abysmal, I mean disastrous dumpster fire that was Transformers 1 at the box office, ladies and gentlemen, does this surprise you at all that at least for the Transformers 1 sequel, it is DOA over there at Paramount? Ladies and gentlemen, it is not happening. And honestly, it's one of them situations where this has happened to a lot of our franchises. These idiots that have gotten in charge of them out there think that they know best, right? That they think they can rewrite it in their own image. They think they can do better than everybody else that came before, which every single time, all the fans have ever wanted is a quality adaptation that sticks true to the lore, that sticks true to the characters, and gives us the characters as we all have known and seen them for so very long. Because at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, that's all fans want. It's not hard to keep fans happy. Stick to the source material and make sure that they are the characters that we have recognized and loved for so very long. But they simply cannot do that. Their ego, their narcissism will not allow them to do that. But just like the old saying goes, pride comes before the fall, and their pride caused the disastrous dumpster fire that was Transformers 1, losing Paramount and Hasbro hundreds of millions of dollars at the box office. And ladies and gentlemen, there is no future for it. And at the end of the day, I think this is a very good thing to hear because we don't have to worry about this anymore. So we're going to share this article from fandompulse.substack, get into all the juicy details of exactly what this guy said at the recent Comic-Con. And of course, I tell you about how the toy sales are going as well, because guess what? Just like Star Wars, just like Marvel, and just like every other IP out there, all of the new hot garbage is not selling. It's ended up in the Ollie's bin. And of course, the classics are the only thing that sells. So we're going to get into all the juicy details. But before we do, if you do enjoy our content, hit that like button, share with all your friends, and subscribe or follow if you have not already, boys and girls, because we are grinding, we are growing, and I could not do that without every single one of you. We just crossed 2K. We're sailing our way towards 2,100. I think we're at like 2029. So please, by all means, hit that subscribe button and become number 2030. Also, leave us a little comment in the section down below. Let me know what you think about all this. Do you think this is a good thing? I think this is going to be the best thing for Transformers. Just get shelved for a while to where nobody has to look at it, nobody has to talk about it anymore, and then we can actually come back and have some people that are actually good creatives. Because if you do want good Transformers right now, it is out there. Go read the current Energon Universe comics. They are so good. They are the absolute positivity, beautiful version, and even a little edgy for some of us out there who've been fans since we were children. Go read those. They are so, so good. And if we can get people like that in charge of the same creatives in charge of the cartoons and the movies, oh, we could have a bright future for Transformers. But as of for right now, at least at Paramount, it is canceled and dead. So let's get into the article from fandompulse.substack. Oh, if you'd like to support our channel, please check out the links in the description as well. Think about becoming a member for $5 less a month. You can help keep the lights on here around here indefinitely, and I would certainly appreciate it. Become part of the grease between our gears, boys and girls. All right, from Fandom Pulse. Transformers 1 director Josh Cooley revealed that Paramount is not developing a sequel to the film following this film's disastrous performance at the box office. Cooley appeared at a panel at BotCon and said, "I wish I had something to announce, but I do not. What I've been told is that Paramount Animation is not interested in making a sequel to it. And why would they? It flopped at the box office. It lost them money. You literally retconned the entire Transformers origin story and lore. So what exactly did you expect? The Transformers audience, fans, and paying customers to what? Show up for your reimagining of our beloved Transformers? Yeah, how well has that worked out? We all literally saw this coming. When we saw the first trailer, when we knew they were rehashing the origin stories, when we knew they were changing all that kind of stuff, we knew where this was going to go. The fans didn't want it. They rejected it. And you, Josh Cooley, cost Paramount hundreds of millions of dollars at the box office. So, of course, they are not going to greenlit a sequel for you in any way, shape, or form. He said, that's what I was told. I wish we could. I have ideas too. So it would have been cool. We'll see what happens. You never know. No, trust me. We know it's not going to happen. Just like all of the rest of these forgotten reboots and refreshes and rehashes and reimaginings that we've seen over the past decade or more are not going to come to fruition. They are not going to get remembered. They are not going to in any way, shape, or form be revitalized. Because guess what? All they are is a giant money loser. And so no matter how much these psychopaths out there try to reimagine the world in their own image, 2 plus 2 still equals 4. And at the end of the day, these studios worship at the altar of the almighty dollar before your identity politics. So yeah, you ain't coming back, Cooley. That's what I was told. I wish we could. I have ideas too. Oh, I'm sure those are going to be wonderful ideas to destroy the Transformers even more. So it would have been cool. We'll see what happens. You never know. No, we do. We do. It's not going to go any farther. And this is why. Transformers 1 bombed at the box office. The film reportedly had a $75 million budget and thus needed to gross at least $225 million globally to break even. However, the film only grossed $59 million domestically and another $69.2 million internationally for a global gross of $128.3 million. And if you guys have been around my channel since this movie came out, right, if you've been here before the ban or if you've been here more recently since all that stuff, you know we covered this. We knew from the opening weekend that movie was going to end up losing money. And guess what? It did. That's a massive flop. $128.3 million, even if they only spent $75 million on the marketing. That means at minimum, this movie cost them at least $25 million of net loss, not to mention potential profit loss, as well as to what it should have made on the merchandise, of what it should have made on the toys. And here's the other kicker as well, because the toys, these Transformers 1 toys, are causing the rest of the stuff not to be able to sell either. We're going to get into that here in just a second. But it sounds like these people flat out knew from the get-go they were not going to get a sequel unless this movie did well. And guess what? It didn't do well. The truth of the matter is you never get to the second movie unless everybody shows up at the box office, which they didn't. We said to ourselves, this is way too hard to make one good movie, to start thinking a lot about the second movie. But along the way, there were ideas that were like, well, that can't fit in here. Let's hold on to that. Let's not forget that idea, although I'm sure we've forgotten some of them. And guess what? None of them are ever going to see the light of day. And it's just absolutely hilarious. Yeah, of course, they had all kinds of ideas. They wanted to do a second one, but guess what? Paramount was like, nah, it already cost us at minimum $25 million. And Hasbro was like, oh, you're screwing up our toys too. Because as noted by our dear sweet Clownfish TV, go check out Geeky Sparkles and Neon over there. They're wonderful folks. As noted by pop culture critics and commentators, Neon and Geeky Sparkle at Clownfish TV, Transformers owner Hasbro is also conducting another round of layoffs. Huh, I wonder why, because they're not making any money. How's Dungeons & Dragons doing, by the way? Hasbro reportedly laid off around 150 employees, or 3% of its workforce in this recent round of layoffs. A Hasbro spokesperson told Retail Drive, we're aligning our structure with our long-term goals, which means if we want to keep making a profit and not go bankrupt, y'all got to go. We can't afford to pay you anymore because the products we've been releasing aren't hitting it with the fans. The fans don't want it. They don't want this garbage. They don't want these reimaginings. They don't want any of that kind of stuff. So I'm trying not to cuss in my videos anymore. Literally, we don't want this any stuff. So of course it's going to happen. Since 2023, the company has cut around 2,500 employees. Yeah, you don't exactly do that if your franchises are in a good place. Now do ya, boys and girls? Additionally, on top of Transformers 1 being a bomb at the box office, the toy line associated with the film is seemingly not selling well. Geeky Sparkles observed, they're not moving. They're on the shelves, not moving. Go to your local Ollie's. You got one in your area? Go to your local discount store that collects all that stuff. A Big Lots, whatever you got, right? Go look in your local area. Go look at your store. Go look. Just do this for me, right? Because I know this. I do this. When we go to Walmart, I do this. My daughter loves going down the toy aisle, right? So whatever. Daddy's little girl, we're going to take her down the toy aisle, right? Whatever. but I use it also as a research component, right? Because I go down those aisles and I specifically look at the size of the Star Wars section, of the Marvel section, of the Transformers section, of all these IPs out there, right? Let me tell you this right now. Marvel and Star Wars have an aisle to themselves at Ollie's. They got about 4 feet at Walmart. And the aisles at Walmart aren't much bigger than the ones at Ollie's. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, that tells you the state of the merchandise when they tried to reimagine in their own image all of our favorite and beloved IPs. How's that going for them? Neon added, we're not getting the new Legacy figures because these Transformer 1 figures are clogging the shelves because they can't get rid of them. That was one of the reports we had from Hasbro's own earnings report. They were getting sued by their investors because they lied about how much merch they had just sitting on the shelves, collecting dust and not making them any money. And guess what? It's the exact same thing with Dungeons and Dragons. You see all of those figures at Ollie's as well. This stuff is not selling, and it's because of their agenda and because they wanted to rewrite these stories in their own insane, politically correct way. And just like political correctness didn't work in the 90s, your new version of it, woke, is not going to work now either. It's just absolutely insane. And guess what? Paramount's done. I'm sure they probably had some kind of deal worked out with Hasbro where they probably would have made a little kickback on all of the, all the toys and all of the merch for Transformers 1 and all that kind of stuff. But guess what? It's not selling. There ain't no money to be made off of this version of Transformers. There ain't no money to be made off any of this trash or any of this garbage or any of this reimagining. You know where there is money to be made? Those new Transformers comics. Because you know what you've got? You've got a fan. You've got a fan in charge of that. You've got a fan running the show over there. And he is giving us the Optimus Prime that we have always known and loved. He's given us the hero that Optimus has always been, willing to sacrifice himself for everyone else out there. And you know what else? He's giving us the Decepticon villains we have always needed and wanted. The insane ones, the careless ones, the ones who will just remove people from the planet without even thinking about it. That's what they're giving us. Transformers 1 was not that at all. And that's why it failed at the box office. That's why Paramount is done with Transformers. Paramount is canceling Transformers. They don't want no part of it. And Hasbro is so clogged up with the backlog of garbage that is not selling that they can't even get the good Transformers toys back to us. The ones that represent the Energon universe. The ones that represent the original version, the original source material of our beloved Transformers. That version of it, ladies and gentlemen, is not what they cannot give us right now because they made the mistake to go with Cooley, who had decided to redefine the origin story, to reimagine Transformers in his own image. And guess what? Those who think they can be like the Most High will end up the exact same way Lucifer did. It's pride before the fall. And guess what, Josh Cooley? You are one of the ones solely responsible for the fall and devastation of Transformers. And guess what? You're out of a job at Paramount. They don't want nothing to do with you. That sequel is never going to happen, and it's exactly what you deserve. Fans decide, and they don't want your reimagined vomit.